Hello, Charger fans. If there's any out there still breathing, the Chargers are not breathing. They're not even on life support, unless they're not going in. So the title of this video is RIP, Rest in Peace 2023 Chargers. I have a perfect shirt. You can't hardly see it, but it has a very dark, it's fading. It's a dark, I don't know, we washed it or something, but it's a dark Charger shirt and it's all fading, much as their season has faded into nothing. Um, yeah, so it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So let's talk about it for a minute. You got a minute? This won't take long. So and then Justin Herbert goes down, and then God, it's just terrible. So I don't watch any of the football shows because those guys are idiots. They're paid to get people excited, and they say a lot of words. They're like the people that talk about politics. They just the only reason they exist is to stir people up, right? So there, Justin Herbert lost it. He doesn't know when a blitz. He hasn't run any, and he hasn't. He hasn't had any come from behind wins. Although I'll tell you what, that Detroit game, every time they touch a football, 5 times in a row they got a touchdown. He just never got the ball back. So you watch him, and he's got like a second to finish. Those some of those blitzes, I was because I didn't. The good news was my app wasn't working, so I didn't have to watch the whole Denver Bronco game. I just watched the highlights, and then I wanted to go back and watch it when it was working, so I could see what Easton Stick did. And all I really wound up doing was fast forwarding it and watch that one touchdown drive, and watch my man Quentin Johnson finally wake up, which is pretty cool. So that was the good news. The good news was Easton Stick to Quentin Johnson, and they've been practicing together all this time. So maybe something will happen, but I wouldn't hold my breath. I mean, as bad as the Raiders are, the Chargers are maybe worse right now. And so I like what Colin Cowherd. He's one of the sports talk guys that I do watch on YouTube for a minute. These guys have these little him and Rich Eisen, and then there's some other guys, and they have these little 2 minute videos. And he says, you know what happens? Your left tackle, who's one of the best in the NFL, he has a bad year. Your quarterback, he's got a little bit of a down year, and he named two or three other guys. Derwin James. He goes, how does they all have? I just happen to have a well, it's coaching. They're, instead of progressing, they're going backwards. So it might be a blessing in disguise that Herbert doesn't have to play the rest of the season because he's going to get killed anyway. So they need a new coach, right? And it's really even deeper than that because every time people try to save money and get one of these coaches that's a coordinator instead of a proven entity, right? So they could have had Sean Payton. How'd that work out for the Broncos, right? They could have had him. He said he wanted to go there. That's what he was saying when he was saying, "Yeah, I sure like Justin Herbert. I sure would like to live in Los Angeles," and all they had to do was call him, but they didn't want to pay him. Now I'm not going to say they're cheap because look how much they paid their guys. Are you kidding me? They got four of the highest paid players in the NFL right now. I mean, they got Khalil Mack, they got Joey Bosa. Oh, they got five. They got Keenan Allen, they got Mike Williams, and they got Justin Herbert. Five of the top. So it's not that they don't pay; it's just that they won't pay the coach. But they think the coach just shows up and turns the key. No, coaches are important. So even so, as much as I hate Bill Belichick and all the crap he's pulled over the years, he's still a heck of a defensive coach. He's a good coach, and he's got a track record. So if he's available, I say go pay the man. Pay the man. Don't let him draft because he's really screwed that team up the last few years since he took over the GM part. He doesn't have that. That's not his thing. But we need to fire our coach. We need to fire our general manager. I mean, let's face it, we weren't as good as we thought, and he's had too many chances. You cannot hire and fire 4 or 5 different coaches and not be the one to get your head chopped off. So he needs to go. And then the head of football operations, a man named John Spanos, he needs to go. I mean, I know he's the owner's son, right? So what are you stuck on stupid? I mean, do you want to win or do you want to just play? Because if you want to play and wear nice clothes and hang out and say, I own an NFL team, then that's great, buddy. If my Christmas wish would be that Spanos sells the team to somebody who really knows what they're doing. Or they just hire someone that knows what they're doing and step out the way. You know what, John Spanos? Instead of running the football operations, Why don't you go over here and just give him a toy, give him something to go play with, something that doesn't have millions of fans all over the world, or thousands, I should say, you know, wanting something good to happen. So what are they gonna do, man? So here's what I say. So this won't, hopefully it won't be too long. So they need to keep Keenan Allen because he's having the most best year he's ever had. Even though he's older, keep him. They got to keep Keenan Allen. Of course, Justin Herbert ain't going nowhere. They need to get rid of Mike Williams because no matter how good he is, and this is a lot of money too, so they need to get rid of him. No matter how good he is, him and Joey Bosa, they're always hurt. So get him out. Get him out. Get him out. We can't. Your best ability is availability. Right? We need to have people on the field, right? We need to keep Khalil Mack. I know he's older, but look at he's the number one defensive player in the league right now. We need him, right? So there's a handful of people. There's maybe 10 players we need to keep. Everybody else, skadoosh. We need to get some money. We need to do. That's why we need a new GM. We need someone to go out and get some people. I mean, think about it. We could have had Ezekiel Elliott. We could have had Kareem Hunt. There's a lot of running backs we could have had to help out because, I mean, Eckler looked okay the last game, but this year he's definitely lost a step or two, right? So whatever's going on there, and Kellen Moore, skadoosh. I mean, whatever's going on, it's not happening. You can't figure out. So your tight ends can't block. Well, they got this guy. I forgot his name. The fullback. Horbath or Horgat, whatever his name is, they got that guy, right? That guy can block. Why don't they have him out there instead of just him and I mean, it's like there's Davis, get him out there and throw him the football a couple times instead of just whenever he's out there, they know he's getting the ball in a trick play, so that's stupid. So yeah, Kellen Moore, skadoosh, Coach Skadoosh, get rid of these guys, man. That's what I say. So will they actually hire? And there are some good guys out there. Dan Quinn. There's a couple of really good assistants that are really strong that I wouldn't be sad if they hired, but they cannot just go out and find some guy that might work out. And gosh, when they don't work out, just we could have saved the season. Who knows? I mean, if we would have done this 4 weeks ago and fired the coach when everybody said fire the coach, maybe the new coach would have done better. Maybe whoever's coaching the offensive line, they got to go. But maybe you light a fire and fire the coach. Say, you know what, you do it now. You just go, because these guys are better than they're playing. That's the deal. When you don't play as good as you are, then that's terrible. They're one of the worst teams in the league right now. I'm telling you what. I don't know who they could beat. Maybe they could beat Carolina. Um, anyway, we'll see. I'm still, of course, I'm going to pull for them. I hope Stick does good. He's got a lot of things that he does that different, and maybe it'll work out. So who knows? But even if they went out 9-8, I mean, come on, guys, less than 1% miracle, and that means they have to beat Buffalo and Kansas City and Denver, right? And even the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders suck, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I still say did it charge whenever I have a chance. And the good thing for some of us that are older, my dad, hello dad, gives you another year. You need to hang on, stay with us for another year, pops. You cannot go anywhere until the Chargers get into the big game, huh? Let's go. Let's go, guys. So bolt up and let's just we're starting to look at next year already. We're starting to look at the draft and let's just hope that they clean house. For Christmas, Lord. I say Lord. So the thing is, I want you guys to know. Everybody knows I'm a missionary. Blah blah blah. But I never pray for football because it's not that important to me. It's important as far as earthly things. It's real important to me. But as far as like my life thing, it's not my life thing. And it's a good thing because it's so disappointing to be a Charger fan. If this was my life thing, I'd probably go jump off a cliff. Let me in with this story. This is even before I was Christian and everything, before I had these different priorities. Back in the day when the Chargers and the Raiders played in the AFC Championship, way back in the day, and the Chargers should have won that game. And actually, the Chicago team that the Raiders wound up playing the Super Bowl was like the worst Chicago. Whoever was going to go from the NFC was going to win the Super Bowl, and we lost that game. My brother and I went, and my wife at the time, Jana and Carolyn, and we all went, and we had this little blue Datsun pickup that I painted lightning bolts on it, and we're ready to go. And my brother and I, we had our Bruise Brothers, like we got these old jackets and hats, and we're like the Bruise Brothers, Bruise, because we had Louis Kelcher and all those guys, and we were going to beat those stinking Raiders. And man, We lost. We lost the game. It started raining. It never rained. It hardly ever rains at the San Diego Stadium, right? So it starts raining. We lost the game. It was close, but we lost the game, and we were so sad after the game. And it was. Then I remember sitting in the back of the truck, and the rain is melting the Charger paint. As we just say, we didn't make the Super Bowl. We didn't make the Super Bowl. Dan Fouts and company again. So, and we're just sitting in the back and we're playing the Shotgun Blues from the Blues Brothers, a blues song. I'm gonna shoot my brains out. And then some kid tried to commit suicide in San Diego, and he like had a gun because the Chargers lost. That's it. Then he just a 15, 16-year-old kid. And at the very last minute, he pulled the gun out and it just like grazed his face. And I remember that was like wake up, David. It's like, you know what? Football is not that important, guys. So at the end of the day, have a Merry Christmas. Love the people around you. Kiss them. And we still pull for the team. I'm not a try. People don't understand this. A lot of people I know, they just go for who's ever good. I wish I was raised that way, but I was raised to go for the underdogs. How stupid. Anyway, I'm not a Charger fan because they're good. They have been good and great, and they always have great. Every team has great players. I'm a Charger fan because I'm a Charger fan. When I'm 11 years old, my dad takes me to my first Charger game, and that's it. The Raiders beat the heck out of us, and while they're beating us, that was the old football where they used to cheat all the time, and they were dirty, and they were spearing guys out of bounds. I remember my dad was so excited and so angry, he's like cussing those guys, stinking red Raiders. And it just caught, and I'm like, yeah, stinking Raiders are so evil, and so we're playing the evil empire. So gosh, if we only win one more game, let's let it be this week, guys. Because I hate the Raiders. I hate them. It's football hate. I don't really hate them as human beings, but in football land, those guys gotta go. Love you guys. Ta ta for now. Have a good Christmas, guys. Charge up.